Head coach of Jitsu in Basingstoke. So my friends at Jitsu Forum have posed a question to me, and that is position over submission or submission over position. I think that the beauty of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu there are more than one ways to answer this question, and there are no real right or wrong answers, but my own opinion. And what works for me, preferably position over submission. The reason being is because I utilise the position to help me execute my submissions. So I like to make sure that I'm in a certain place at a certain time before I start even attacking submissions. So position over submission works for me, arguably in different rule sets. Be it a submission only attempt, then I understand why people would say submission over position. But for me, in my opinion, more often than not, I would go with position over submission. So focus on getting a position right, and hopefully the submission will follow. If not, then you can make their lives hell on the way to that submission.
I'd say possession every time. You can't hope to sub somebody if you can't control them first. I teach all my guys just to control people, and eventually the submissions will come. I don't even emphasise teaching subs. I literally just teach for the first year. I just want everybody to be able to just control whoever the hell they're rolling with, because if you control them, the subs will come.
From my perspective, you need to have submissions from everywhere, and you need to be threatening from everywhere at every time. You can't be waiting until you get into mount, and especially like no gi. There's only like an arm bars from mount, a few other things, but your options are limited. Your guard submissions are everywhere, and you use them to off balance to get the sweep. So yeah, I mean like sweeps set up submissions, submission attempts set up sweeps, and then you know that's what gets you your position. So I'm not going to be waiting around. You know, like I could get enough subs from underneath side control to not be able to argue that position is the key thing here.
I would say position over submission for most of the time, because when you secure a position and you transition to a better one, usually you accumulate points, which could dictate the way the fight goes and the way your opponent fights in particular. And the better position you get, the easier you might be able to get submission in. However, this will change if you have a sub-only rule set where you should actually focus on submission over position, because that way you can have a bit more free flow in jiu-jitsu and secure a submission faster. But most of the time, the rule sets will aid the positions, so that would mean you would gain points, and if you're not focusing on the position when that's the priority, you can lose points, and then by the time you know it, by the end of the fight, you might not have enough time to get a submission, and that way it'll put you in a disadvantageous position. So yeah, I would definitely say it's position over submission in this case.
What's up guys, we're BJJ at the AJP Tour. Abu Dhabi Grand Slam London 2023. The question from Inside BJJ is position or submission. For me, it's always going to be the position over the submission. If you can't control your opponent, you can't keep them where you need them to be, you can't really begin to start looking for things. So you have to get the position first, secure it, and then attack from there. I think we're seeing now the rising attacks from inferior positions such as bottom side control, bottom north south, and now we are looking at potentially catching submissions as well from scrambles and things like the dogfight. So for me guys, it's always going to be the position over the submission. Make sure you can control your opponent, at least secure your points or stabilize, and from there you can launch your attacks. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff, and check out my IG, Corey_bjj.com, CORIE_BJJ. Take it easy guys, peace.
Position over submission, 110% mate, absolute 110%. If you are focusing on your positions and focusing on them 100%, thinking about the point system, thinking about making sure you got tight side control, making sure you got top mount, making sure that everything is secure, subs will come from that, definitely. They will come. If you focus on those positions, subs will come. But if you go the opposite way around and think about subs over positions, then you only get so far, because then you're just jumping, you're actually limiting yourself on the tree of your options and what you can do from it. 110% my position, that position is far superior than submission.
For me, I believe it's position. I'd rather be tapped multiple times in a round than to be completely manhandled. But the counter argument is, if you watch the Bodoni movie on Flow Grappling, Danaher says Bodoni's more lethal toward the submission rate. So you could say submission is more important, but for me, it has to be position. Because two of my top students will know by now, they get manhandled instead of submitted. Cheers, Silver. Love.
It's a tough one, It depends the rule set, but in just the mats, submission and position, always. You've got to have things more interesting, more spicy, liven up a bit. I'm not trying to sit in mount for like 4 minutes and just sit there and position over submission. Submission and position always. Thank you.
I'd say position over submission, but then submission, because without position there is no submission. It's all about control that leads to submission, and without that, you won't be able to sub anyone. It's all about a good positional game leading into submission and going from there.
Hello guys, I'm Nunes Elvis, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt. What's up my man Black Silva? You asked me the question about submission and position. Masters use different techniques. Position is very important, but for me, submission on the first place, because submission skills at high level. So Nunes Elvis, respect Jim, Kyrgyzstan, Bishkek, Os.
Sou o Silvio Feijão, sou aqui do Rio de Janeiro, né, Brasil, Rio de Janeiro. Eu vou estar falando um pouco do nosso treinamento aqui no Brasil. Nós treinamos 3 fatores, que é a pontuação, a finalização e a raspada. Então nós treinamos muito abrir guarda, né, que é onde a gente vai estar abrindo a guarda e passando, fazer o ponto. Nós treinamos muita raspada de meia guarda, que é onde a gente pode estar raspando e fazendo ponto, e nós treinamos muita finalização. O fator principal aqui é finalizar, acabar com a luta, ainda mais quando a chave é grande, você ficar naquela trocação ali, você fica cansado, exausto, e você tem mais luta para fazer. Então a gente trabalha muita finalização. Nós faz aí meia hora de finalização, vários modos. Nós faz meia hora de passada de guarda, nós faz meia hora de raspada de meia guarda, e treinamos no rola, executando esses 3 fatores meia hora, direto ali, rodando, entra e sai, porque no campeonato você não sabe o que te espera. Você pode estar pegando um atleta bom demais de raspada, você pode estar pegando um atleta bom de finalização. A gente trabalha a defesa de finalizações, atacando e se defendendo. Então aqui a gente treina muito esses 3 fatores, né? A gente pode ser pego de surpresa, mas nós estamos bem preparados para não ser pego de surpresa. Vamos jogar de acordo com o atleta, de acordo com o oponente que a gente está pegando no campeonato, entendeu? É essas coisas que nós treinamos aqui bastante vezes.
Position over submission. I always tell my students to secure a good, strong, dominant position, then to attack the submission.
Submission over position, position over submission.
100% position over submission. My view on that, I mean, you've got to have a decent base. It's all opposites at the end of the day. You can't have one without the other. You look at things like controlling your base before you go for a move. You're not just going to throw yourself into something. Even people in competitions, when they go for flying arm bars, they're setting up their position before they go. So, it goes without saying you need one without the other. You can't just go straight in for a submission. I do agree with the submission, going and hunting for that submission, but again, like I say, it's opposites. You've got to do both.
Position, submission, submission, position. Whatever I can get, I'm getting it. Most likely, none of them.
Obviously, submission over position if you're doing jiu-jitsu. Definitely.